Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Middleware Technologies. Today we'll be looking at how we can install and configure Collect D with network plugin using Ansible playbook. So here in this video, we will try to install Collect D using Ansible playbook, which comes with default set of plugins enabled to collect the system statistics. Then we will try to enable a network plugin which will help us in exposing the metrics on a port, which can be consumed by other systems which want to analyze on those metrics. So let us see how we can achieve this in this video. So I'm currently working on Fedora 39 workstation with Ansible 2.16.2 installed on my system. So we'll be basically managing a remote machine on which we will be installing Collect D and trying to collect the metrics out of it. Let us try to understand what is Collect D. Collect D is a Linux system daemon which is provided to collect the system and application performance metrics. And this can be done on a periodic basis, and they also provide us with a mechanism to store those metrics for further usage in different formats. As I said, it can collect different metrics from OS, application log files, and external devices that we collect. So it basically works on the basis of plugins that we configure in the collectd.conf file, which we will be looking at further in the video. It is purely written in C language for performance and portability. So that's the major advantage of this package, because it natively connects with the kernel and tries to collect the details or the metric details for our system. As I said, there are multiple plugins available. There are as of now, there are 100 plugins that are available, which can be used to collect the statistics from different services like Apache, DNS, network. So these are some of them, to name a few. Let me show you. Let me go into the browser and try to search for Collect D. So it will take you to this page wherein the information related to the Collect D package is available. If you go into the documentation section, here we have the first steps with Collect D, so which will help you understand how you can install or you can compile the binary from the source that is available for the Collect D package. And then it will tell you some information about what all the default plugins that are loaded as a part of this package installation and what they exactly do. And as I said, there are multiple plugins that are available. So this is the table of all the plugins that are available, and we have different types of plugin, which are sometimes are read, some type of plugins are read and write. So basically what it means is, the read plugins are used to collect the metrics from that specific service, and the write plugins are there to store that metrics in a form which will be usable. And there are few plugins which are both acting as a read and write plugin. So we will try to see one of the plugin, that is network plugin, which we will be enabling to expose the metrics that we are collecting for the CPU or the system statistics. Let me go into my documentation again. So here we are going to look at the project structure, which is based on the Ansible playbook. So let me go into my shell and show you the project structure for Collect D service. So here we have the inventory, wherein we have the managed host, fully qualified domain name, which we'll be using in order to manage the remote machine using Ansible playbook. And this is going to be our main playbook, Linux setup collect D, which is going to install and configure and start up the service for collect D. And these are the different roles that we are going to call from this playbook. So as you can see, the roles which we have configured right now are Linux configure, Linux install, Linux ping, Linux restart, Linux start, and Linux stop. These are all related to the collect D package that we are going to manage using the Ansible playbook. And we have also provided a readme instruction which basically helps you to execute the playbook based on our requirement. Now let me go into my documentation again, and let us go into our procedure of implementing this collect D package on our remote system. So as a first step, like, we need to install collect D. So these steps are based on whatever roles that I have defined. So we will just go and look at the roles one by one and try to understand what exactly we are doing with these roles. So let me first open the Linux playbook. So this is basically the playbook that we are going to execute in order to install and configure the collect D package on our remote machine. So as I said, like, we have different roles. Like the Linux ping is basically used to validate the remote connection with the Ansible. And the second role, Linux install, is going to install the required packages for the collect D setup. And the third role, Linux configure collect D, it is going to configure our collect D based on the default configuration that is available with us. And here, like, we are going to enable a plugin which will try to expose the metrics that we are capturing from the other plugins that we have enabled. And the other three roles, Linux restart, Linux stop, and Linux start, are basically used to manage the systemd unit or systemd service related to the collect D package. Now let us try to understand more by looking at each and every role that we have defined. So for that, let me open this project in Visual Studio Code. So here is my inventory. Basically, I am managing my server, like the remote virtual machine, that is FedRes. And let me get into the roles. So first role we will see is Linux ping, is basically in order to validate the connectivity with our remote machine. And the next role is Linux install. So here we are basically installing the collect D package and ensuring that it is installed and present rather than updating the package. So if you want the latest package to be installed, like, you can update the status to latest and it will install the latest package whenever you are running this playbook or role. Now let us look at the other role, that is configure. Here basically we are defining a set of variables, you can say, or the attributes or fields, key value pairs, wherein we are defining the collect D config directory as /etc and the collect D config template. This is the important configuration file that we get, and it is available in etc. So we are going to copy that configuration file into the following location, and we are going to create another new configuration file in order to load the network plugin and configure the network plugin using this network.conf file, which we are going to copy into a location that is included in the collectd.conf file. And these two we can ignore for now, like, we will be looking at it further in our next set of videos. Now let us look at the collectd default configuration file. So this is the default configuration file that you get, and all of the lines are mostly commented out. Like, there are a lot of plugins that are available for us to use, and if there is a line commented out with a single hash mark, that means the plugin is available for use, so we can just enable and use. use it. But if there are any lines with double hash marks, that means those plugins are not available by default with the package. We need to compile and load those plugin modules before we enable this in the configuration file. So let me show you what exactly we have. Let me show you what exactly we have enabled in the default configuration file that we are getting. Okay. So here, like as you can see, like I am just grabbing out all the commented lines, and we are just looking at the lines which are enabled in the configuration file. So as you can see, like we have the syslog logging plugins, the CPU interface load and memory plugins that are enabled by default, and we have the last line, that is include. So it basically includes any customized configuration file that we store at etc collectd.d location on the system. So this is basically about the default configuration file that we get with collectd. Now we will be looking at the network.conf file. As I said, like we will be enabling the following plugin, network plugin, in order to expose the metrics that we are capturing. For this network plugin, we are configuring the server section. Basically, it is the host and port on which we are going to expose our metrics. So this variables or the fields we have already configured in the defaults main.yaml definition file that we have already looked at. Now let us take a look at the let me go to my Visual Studio Code so it will be easy. So we have looked at the network config file, we have looked at the config collector the default configuration file and the defaults that we have configured. Now let us look into the main tasks main.yaml file, which will be actually uploading the config files. So as a first task, like we are going to upload the collectd config file into the etc folder. So config template is the basically this file that we are going to upload, and we are uploading it to the etc directory. And then like we are going to upload our plugin related to the specific network plugin. So here we are uploading that source, that is a network.conf file, into etc collectd.d directory, and there we are copying this network.conf file, which is resolved using this collectd conf_network variable. So this is how this Linux config collectd role works. So we have looked at install, configure and ping. Let us look at the start role. So it is basically used to start up the collectd service, and we have similar roles, that is stop, it is used to stop the collectd service, and we have restart, which is used to restart the collectd service. And now let us look at the readme instructions, which provide us with the instructions for execution. So as you can see, we have this Ansible playbook utility which we are using to run the Linux setup collectd playbook on the managed hosts that are available in this inventory file. And we are passing these tags. Basically, tags are used to specify which specific role we want to execute from that playbook. So we have looked at this playbook wherein for each role we have defined the tag. So based on that tag, we are going to execute the playbook's role. Let's say if you want to execute all of the roles in this playbook, you need not specify the tag section. So you can just ignore the tag section. Now let me go into my shell and let me open the readme instructions over here, and we are now we will not try to run this playbook without any tags. For that, first let me start up my virtual machine. So my virtual machine is started. Let me give it some time to get up and running, and let me log in into this virtual machine. So it is still coming up. Okay, now we have our virtual machine up and running. Let us now go into the readme instructions and try to execute this playbook without any tag information. Okay, so let me run this. So here you can see like it has executed the role one by one as we have defined in the playbook. So it has executed the Linux ping role, then it has installed the collectd package, then it has configured the collectd package, then we have uploaded a customized collectd network.conf file, then we have restarted the service, and start stop our services like basically the roles which we can use based on our requirement. Let me clear my screen, and now let us go into our remote machine that we have configured with the collectd. Now if you can see with rpm-qa grep collectd, you will see that the collectd package is installed, and the collectd package basically installs the, so let me list the files that are available from this package. And you can see like it installs the package configuration file at the following location. So let me go into /etc and open the collectd conf file. So here like we have some plugins that are enabled, but as I said, like we are going to enable a customized plugin that is network in order to expose our metrics, and that configuration file we have copied into the following location, collectd.d directory, and here like you can see the network.conf file like copied and configured with the following host and port that we have defined in this configuration defaults. Okay, so here you can see the collectd config network host and collectd config network port are the values that are copied into the following location. Now let us try to look at the service. So here you can see the collectd service is up and running, and you can see the list of plugins that are loaded. You can see the CPU interface like network interface, load, memory, and network and syslog plugins are loaded. And network plugin is the plugin that is the customized plugin that we have enabled using our network.conf file. So this is how like you will be able to expose the metrics from collectd using this network plugin. Now let me go into my documentation. So we have looked at how we can configure collectd using our customized network.conf file, and we have uploaded that using the Ansible playbook. So let's say like if you want to execute only specific task in so let's say if you want to execute let's say if you have changed anything in the configuration file, you can just execute this playbook with the tag, and it is going to execute only that Linux configure role for us, and then you can just restart the service using this tag with the playbook. So that is how it simplifies us with configuring and restarting the service for collect D using the Ansible playbook. Let me go into my documentation again. So we have looked at step 2, that is configure collect D, and we have looked at step 3, that is start collect D. It is basically used to start up the service. Then we have looked at the stop collect D to stop the service, and restart collect D in order to restart the collect D service. And then we have looked at the collect D Ansible playbook, which actually executes the following rules based on the tags that we pass. Otherwise, it will execute all the rules as mentioned in the sequence. And these are the readme instructions that will be helpful for us in order to refer to the playbook instructions. And then we have executed the playbook and looked at how it configures the collect D package on our remote machine, and then we have validated the results using the systemd, or you can just go and check for the collect D service journal logs on the remote machine. So let me clear my screen over here, and I'll show you that also. So you can just follow the logs of the collect D using F, and U means basically the unit, that is collect D.service. So this is how basically it enables us to collect the CPU interface load memory metrics and expose it via that network port, that is 25286. If I'm not wrong, let me look at that port number again. So it is 25826. Okay. So that is the UDP port on which we are exposing the metrics. And this metrics we can further consume using fluentd, which we will be looking at in our next video. So thank you all, thanks for watching this video, and you guys have a great day.